Dhruva Maharaj approached Vishnu with a material motive. He was one of the categories, 4 categories, Artho, Artharthi, Jijnasuhu. Jnani cha Bharatarshaba, Chaturvida bhajante mam Sukritino Arjuna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Dhruva Maharaj fell into the category of Artharthi. He wanted some material kingdom. That's why he approached Vishnu. But having approached Vishnu for that kind of material objective, he got the great fortune of coming in touch with a great pure devotee, Narada Muni. And because of that, he got purified of his material motive. And ultimately, his devotional service became pure devotional service. And that is established by the fact that after he saw Vishnu, he refused to ask any benediction from Vishnu. Although he commenced his spiritual path with the intention of getting a kingdom greater than his grandfather's, greater than his father's, the process of devotional service that he followed under the instructions of Narada Muni ultimately purified him and he became a pure devotee. And that is how he went back to Vaikuntha. One cannot go to Vaikuntha, one cannot go to the spiritual world unless one is completely purified. If one has not become an Uttama Bhakta, he cannot go back to Vaikuntha. If he is having material motives, if his bhakti is still Karma Mishra or Jnana Mishra or Dhyana Mishra, then you cannot go back to Vaikuntha. You will get stuck somewhere in between. You can go to Satyaloka, you can go to Brahmaloka. You will not get out of this material world. Maximum, you can go to Brahma Jyoti. You cannot go beyond that. Therefore, the fact that Dhruva Maharaj went back to Vaikuntha means that he attained the position of Uttama Bhakti. As it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, after Dhruva Maharaj, after ruling over the planet for 36,000 years, he went to Badarika Ashrama and there he executed devotional service without any other kind of distraction, without any other material duties distract him, completely absorbed in devotional service. And there it is described that Ananda Bashpa Kalaya Muhurardya Manaha, when he was executing devotional service in Badrika Ashrama, Ananda Bashpa Kalaya, out of Ananda. Ananda means spiritual Ananda, spiritual bliss. Tears were constantly flowing out of his eyes. And his whole body was always trembling, his hairs was standing on end. These are all symptoms of a pure devotee who has developed bhava for Krishna. From these descriptions, we can understand that Dhruva Maharaj had attained the topmost platform of loving devotion service to Krishna. And that is why he was able to go back to Godhead. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. No matter with what motive we approach Krishna, ultimately, that process itself it will purify us. It is said that Kama Dveshat Snehat, we may approach Krishna, Kamat out of lust, Dveshat out of enmity, or Snehat out of love. We may approach Krishna with any of these. Kamat Dveshat Snehat. Bhaktyeshware Manaha. We may render devotional service to Krishna. Bhakti Ishware. To Krishna, we may render devotional service with any of these underlying motives. It may be out of kama, out of lust, like Kubja. She offered devotional service to Krishna being affected by lust. Or it may be out of envy, out of enmity, like Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu. These personalities also approached Krishna with enmity, with lot of hatred in the heart, Dveshat, or Snehat, out of loving affection, like Yashodamai, Nanda Maharaj, so many personalities. All of them approach Krishna with some underlying emotions. And once one attaches oneself to Ishvara, Bhaktyeshware, Manaha Aveshya, and when our mind becomes absorbed in Krishna like that, what happens is that we become purified. Manaha Aveshya, when our mind becomes invested in Krishna, then what happens is we become purified. And tad gatim gataha. So many people like this in the past, having become attracted to Krishna, either out of envy or out of hatred or out of love or out of lust, they all eventually got purified and they all achieved Krishna. Tad gatim gataha. Bahavo tad gatim gataha. Many people in the past have achieved Krishna's lotus feet. That is the nature of approaching Krishna. We may approach Krishna with some material motive, but the moment we approach Krishna, the very nature of Krishna is such that all those material motives will get destroyed. Eventually, will get purified and will become pure devotees of Krishna. This is what the Shastras are saying. And therefore, Dhruva Maharaj approached Krishna with some material motive. But because he approached Krishna, and that too through a pure devotee like Narada Muni, he became purified of all those material desires and he became a totally unalloyed devotee of Krishna. He became one of the topmost celebrated devotees of Krishna. That's why he is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And even Narada Muni glorifies Dhruva Maharaj, that such a great personality, such a wonderful devotee, such super excellent qualities he has. So much so that even if we simply hear about Dhruva Maharaj pastimes, then that itself will give us perfection. It will take us back to Godhead. Such are the qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. If he is still not on the pure devotional platform, how can it give us liberation? That is the nature of devotional service to Krishna. We may approach Krishna with some ulterior motive, but ultimately it will it will purify us. Just like the example is given of Putana also. Putana approached Krishna with Dvesha. She wanted to kill Krishna. But then what happened? Finally, Lebhire Gatim Dhatri Uchitam. She ultimately, because she approached Krishna, even though it was with Dvesha, she ultimately achieved a position of being Krishna's nurse eternally in the spiritual world. That's the nature of approaching Krishna. We may approach Krishna in any mode, but that connection with Krishna, when we touch Krishna, will become purified. The example is given that I may touch fire knowingly or unknowingly. My intention may be anything, but no matter what, if I put my hand into fire, it will burn. It is not going to say, oh, this is a small 5-year-old child. He does not know. So why burn him? Let us not burn him. Nothing. Young man, old man, child, evil man, good man. Fire will not say, oh, this man is a very good man, nice man. Why should I burn? Let me not burn him. Oh, this person is wearing tilak. He is a devotee. So let me burn him a little softly. Nothing doing, sir. You put your hand, it will burn. Similarly, Krishna, anybody approaches Krishna, he will get purified. That is the beauty about approaching Krishna. No matter with what motive we approach Krishna, Krishna will purify us and take us back to Godhead.